Hi, welcome back to another episode of Soundcheck. I'm your host, Yasmin Yamaz, and today's guest is a singer and producer here from the East Coast. His name is Shonay K.
Hey, my name is Shonay K, and you're listening to 90.3 WMSC.
Before we get into it, how are you doing?
Pretty good. I just released the Midnight Moon EP, so I'm feeling pretty great about that. Plus, I'm working on a remix of Unlock It by Charlie XCX right now, so
All right.
good vibes all around. How about you?
Pretty good vibes. I gotta say, today I was shocked by the weather. My weather app was saying it was gonna rain. So I'm like, that's alright, because I'm gonna be inside all day. I got classes all day. So when I saw the great weather, I'm like, really? Because tomorrow I'm off from classes and it's going to pour. I'm like, oh
my God.
But this interview is saving the day because, once again, like you said, good vibes. So you mentioned your EP, Midnight Moon. Before we dive right into it, let's talk about a bit of your backstory. You started making music back in 2014 under the name Pixel Vision. Then by 2015, your artist name became Shonay K. What is the meaning behind your new artist name?
So my mom, growing up, Shona is a term of endearment in Urdu and Desi culture, I guess. I'm not I didn't know ever since I was young. She called me Shona. And K, it has a double meaning because K is for her last name, and it's also for Cruella because, they were the reasons why I started producing. So I kind of wanted that as part of my musical identity. So Shona and then K, but then she also would call me Shonay every so often. So it just came together like that, and I just figured it kind of rolls off the tongue a bit, Shonay K.
Yeah, 100%. And that's interesting. So you said that you really started kicking off your career with inspiration from Cruella, excuse me. What about them inspires you, or what about them influences your work?
I think not even just them, but also Kashmir as well, from Kashmir, formerly of the Cataracts. Just seeing South Asians dominate electronic music, I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I remember the first time I heard it live on the radio, I not to sound over dramatic, but I actually cried a little because I'm like, wow, this is just an insanely beautiful song. Right. And their voices are amazing, and the production's great, and I just really want to do this. Mm-hmm. And from then on, not a couple months later, I bought FL Studio, and I just took off from there.
By any chance, are you first generation?
I think. Yes, I think. Yeah, because my mom and my dad immigrated here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I was wondering, because I feel like, especially with first generation, from my experience and from a lot of my friends' experience, we're raised in a more traditional household. So pursuing a career in the arts, there's this negative stigma. By any chance, did you experience that challenge when you started pursuing a career in the music industry?
Oh, 100%. I remember the first summer I really got into making music was 2014, and I was living with my grandparents at the time. And I remember walking in on my grandpa, just I think he was talking to my grandma. He's like, he can't do music. That's not a career option for us. And I mean, I love my grandfather, rest his soul. He's I don't know how to phrase this properly, but I mean, he's the patriarch of the family. I've always looked up to him growing up, and I kind of wanted to prove him wrong. I kind of wanted to be one day I could make this a career. Who knows?
Yeah, and going now back to your music, back in 2017, you released your album Neon Nights. And when I first listened to that, and then listening to your new EP, Midnight Moon, I've seen that you've increased your vocal presence. What inspired you to take this approach with this EP?
So over the years since Neon Nights came out, I just really wanted to put more of myself into my music, because when I put Neon Nights out, I felt like it was rushed, because I was like, it's a beat, here, we're done, put it out. I originally released an EP back in 2019 called 621 that I recently just took off of streaming services because I just did not like it. And I kind of took a similar approach with how I approached Neon Nights to the 621 EP, in that it was just over rushed, and that the moment you listen to it, you're like, there's a lot of a lot of mistakes in this. Like, I don't know how this made it onto streaming services, but like, I think obviously one, Cruella. I mean, that's the big thing. I really love, and I will go back to them so many times, I think, during this interview. Like them, Dev, who is just like one of my biggest musical inspirations. If you remember, like a G6, you know.
Yes, 100%.
Her album, The Night the Sun Came Up, was just like one of. It was an album that I listened to like a lot throughout my formative years when it came to music taste. And I think without her and Cruella and the Cataracts, I just wouldn't be the musician that I am today, or I don't even think I'll be making music without them. And so I think I really just wanted to try to be like them. You know, I mean, if they're able to, you know, do production and sing, I want to do that too. And so I did it.
Yeah, because I could see the gradual shift with your single. I think it was Morning Sun and Love.
Yeah, and I mean, wow, I just stuttered really badly. So I remember like the first single that I had released was with vocals it was called I Know Better back in 2019 when I first released it. I released it like 3 times, and the second version was just taken off streaming, but the first single version, I think I just kept it up there because I'm like, I want people to see the progress between I Know Better and Know Better, which is on the Midnight Moon EP. And I think when Morning Sun was in the works, it was like right when the pandemic started. And so I was like, I'm home a lot. I can just practice, you know?
Okay.
And so I did Morning Sun, and then I did Undercover, and then I did Milky Way, and then Love was it was I think unfortunately the guy that's featured on it, Tsunami, is a friend of mine who unfortunately passed away last year. And so thank you. He was, you know, like a really big inspiration to me when I first moved to Connecticut, because I was already producing by that time. And so when I moved back to my old hometown in Connecticut, my old friends were like, oh, there's this guy here, his name's Gary, he's super cool, he makes music too. And we became like the best of friends, and he definitely taught me a lot of what I know now. And 2 years ago, 2018, he sent me this demo called Love, and I was like, I want to be on this so badly. And I sent him some vocals. He tried to work with it. Didn't really work out at the time. And then unfortunately, once everything happened back in July, it was like, I really just want to finish that song. Like, at the very least, it's the least that I could do. And I think just, you know, him being the artist that he was, it has been pushing me to, you know, try to push limits when it comes to my music. Like, I want to, you know, write as much as he did. I want to produce as much as he did. So I think with it's a mixture of Cruella, Dev, the Cataracts, and Su.Nami.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How would you, in general, define your sound?
It's very over-processed, especially the vocals. I am a sucker for autotune. I love the sound of autotune. I love like robotic vocals. I love there being like no variation in the vocal track. Although I do want to like try to release more like stripped down stuff maybe sometime soon. Maybe my upcoming singles will be, you know, a little less autotune heavy, but I add the autotune on for the effect of it sounding like really cool and robotic, just because it just sounds so pleasing to my ears.
There's this one track that I just play like all the time. It's Immaterial by Sophie. Like, so good. I mean, that like she uses the autotune at one point. I remember playing it for my friends, and they're like, "That's too much autotune." I'm like, "No, there's no such thing as too much autotune."
Exactly. I think instrumental wise, it's just really a mix because, like, you know, I produce all my own instrumentals except for Too Late for Love, which was on the Midnight Moon EP. It was produced by Jaren Pang. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I forgot. I just totally butchered your last name, Jaren. First of all, that kid is so talented. He is a 16-year-old kid from Singapore, and he produces way better than I ever like could even dream. Like, and I don't mean to like put myself down here, but my God, like when I was 16, I wish I had like the amount of talent that kid has in his pinky finger. Like, I cannot say like enough good things about him. But yeah, so he produced Too Late for Love, and everything else was, it was basically just all me. And I mean, my production process is either like I will either make everything from scratch, or I'll just like throw together some samples and be like, this is kind of a vibe. Let's see how this will turn out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the EP, when you're saying that, like, for example, you throw in some samples, see if you vibe with it. In general, how long did it really take you to be able to construct this? Because, like you said, you mentioned that there are certain tracks there that you've been working with. No Better, for example, you've been working with it. So I guess the main meat, of the EP, we'll call it. How long was that process?
Kind of long. I mean, so a lot of the instrument, like the interludes, or like the interlude, the intro, and the outro, those were all made, I think, maybe sometime last year. That was a majority of it, besides like maybe a few instrumental or like actual like instruments, like guitar samples or something. Most of that was me just trying to like work with synths and drums and all that kind of stuff on FL Studio. Trying to think, a lot of the songs that have vocals, I feel like, at least going forward, I can't even remember, like I know Better, or Know Better was like, that was all from scratch. Like,
okay, wow.
That, because I've been working on that song the longest. That was on Neon Nights, like the original instrumental. And then around that time I was like, I can only use drum samples. If I use melody samples, it's cheating. I can't. And I've just kind of like gotten more lenient with it, because I'm just like, let me make the vision that I want, and if I can alter it in a different way, so add my own twist to it, I'll add vocals, or I'll try to add my own melody or something different. I don't want to like heavily rely on samples, but like for a producer who's doing it all by himself, it's kind of a godsend at times. God bless Kashmir and his sample packs.
Yeah, that's amazing that you're working from the ground up. You're doing it all, and I give you so much respect for that, because that is amazing.
Thank you.
Of course. So the next part of this interview, I call it vibe check. It's like a speed round. So we're gonna go give you 3 warm-ups, so you get the idea of the pace. So you ready?
Okay.
All right. Blue or red?
Blue.
Early riser or night owl?
Early riser.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
All right, you got the rhythm. Let's get into it. All right.
Okay.
Favorite Cruella song?
Oh, Ring of Fire.
All right. Ooh, you got that on the spot. All right. Who is someone you're trying to collaborate with?
Dev and Cruella.
What is your comfort anime?
Oh, Lucky Star.
The best concert or festival you've ever been to?
Cruella New World Tour, November 2017. 2017? Yeah.
If you were to get a tattoo, what would it be?
I had a conversation about this recently. New World, right on my arm.
Ooh, I like that. All right, what venue or location would you love to perform at?
Toad's Place, New Haven. It's where all my old friends are, around, and I would just love to have that energy there.
I'm a film major, so I need to know, what movie do you currently recommend?
I just watched a movie. I just recently recently watched Captain America: Civil War for the first time, because I'm a huge Marvel stan, but for some reason that was like the one movie that I just totally skipped over.
Okay, gotcha. And lastly, what are you looking forward to the most after this pandemic ends?
Being able to play something live.
So before I wrap this up, I know you just released an EP, but are you in the works of another project that you can tell?
I've started writing some lyrics. I have some songs that were scrapped from Midnight Moon that just didn't fit the overall vibe, that I just want to release as singles. So I'm definitely going to do quite a bit of just like singles after singles after singles after singles, remixes, covers, a lot of covers, because I've been wanting to do covers again for so long. One of my friends, Tom, has been requesting me to redo my Say So cover that I did about a year ago. And I rewrote the second verse as, with my own words. So I'm excited to get that done. And like I was mentioning earlier to you, the Unlock It remix that I'm working on, the Charlie XCX remix, I'm really excited to put that out.
Awesome. So I want to stay posted with any and all your future work. Where can we follow you?
Okay, Shonay K on YouTube is the name of my channel. Shonay underscore S underscore Caliente is my Instagram.
All right.
Shonay K underscore TWT is my Twitter. You can find me on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, all that.
Awesome. Well, that's pretty much it for the interview. So thank you so much for joining in and being part of it. All of his socials are linked below. So if you're interested in his work, you can check them out and stay posted. Thank you so much for watching Soundcheck, and I'll see you next episode. Peace.